bring in business best practices into education and look at things a little differently in terms of how education works. And a piece of that is bringing in the practice of really taking a hard look at our facilities over time. We just completed a master facilities assessment with the help of a team of architects, engineers, and our own staff to really look in depth at what the facility needs are going to be over the long term. From there, the board will take that, look at priorities, and work in conjunction with our administration to kind of lay out what that plan looks like. It's very important to the board that we take care of the over 1 million square feet of facilities that we have, and making sure that our investment in those facilities is of the best value that we can for our taxpayers.
We'd like to thank the Sycamore community again for approving our new levy for the support of our students this past fall. You may have noticed when you received your tax bill this year, we have kept our promise to make sure we have moderate tax rates for our residents in our community. We rank 20th out of 25th, even with the new tax for our community and for our schools. This is about 20% below the average for other school districts in Hamilton County, as well as Mason and Kings. We feel great about being able to keep that promise to you. Sycamore recently learned that we have received the Auditor of State's Award with Distinction for the 3rd consecutive year. This award is received by school districts that have clean financial audits and have met the standards of financial accountability for the state of Ohio. We are very proud of our staff for making sure that we use your tax dollars well and that we hold ourselves to the highest standard of accountability. This spring, Ohio's legislature will be working on their new 2-year budget. This process will be continuing from now on to June 30th, when a final budget must be adopted by the state legislature. Currently, the district will be receiving about $3 million less in the 2017-18 school year and an additional $4 million cut in the 2018-19 school year. Just this past week, I presented testimony to a committee of the House of Representatives in support of maintaining those dollars that the districts have received in past years to support our schools. We will continue to work with our local legislators to make sure that our voices are heard. We will also keep you aware of the progress of the state budget over the next several months, and we may ask you to help us to make sure your voices are heard as well.
Hello, my name is Frank Forstoffel, Superintendent of Schools for Sycamore. Our mission statement says very clearly that we want to provide opportunities for our students to develop skills for them to grow and for them to be college and career ready, and maybe most importantly, to be productive citizens. That mission statement permeates all that we do here at Sycamore. So you're going to hear about 3 very important priorities in our district. The first is the work we do with our youngest children in promoting positive choices in the learning environment. Second, as our students are exposed to more technological world, the work we do with our students to prepare them to be good digital citizens. And finally, and most importantly, as we prepare our students to be college and career ready, our Aviator flight plan is an approach that we take with our kids to expose them to start to think about life after Sycamore and engage them in an advising plan to get them ready.
The big meaning of peace builder would be somebody who accepts others and helps others and is friendly to everybody they meet.
And if they're sad, you help them get back up, where they're normally happy.
In the elementary years, one of our most important jobs is we certainly need to teach kids to read and write and do all of the academic things, but it's also our job to help children figure out how to handle social situations and how to navigate their world so that they can be good citizens.
How to be a peace builder. Say nice things about other people.
Proactively want to teach our students, like we teach them anything. We have to teach them the right way to act, the right way to behave, the right way to treat one another, and then rewarding those positive choices and those positive behaviors.
Stop and then think, and then give your response, and then review how the person reacted.
If you do something that you shouldn't have done, how do you right that wrong? How do you accept ownership of that and move forward?
You just say sorry, and you just like give them a hug if you did something wrong, and then you just leave it be. Be kind to other people. You know, if someone's hurt, you can help them get up.
Really about showing them the strategies that they can do to be successful, not just on a test, but when talking to a friend and when they're in a situation that, you know, they're arguing at recess about something. They have these strategies that we've talked about.
Being responsible and having perseverance and all of those good positive characters. We're constantly talking about how we use that and how we treat one another.
You know, as an adult, it's very shocking that they are creating their own character.
They see and feel when I use this, I feel better. I have more friends. I feel more successful in the classroom and out of the classroom.
If I think of bad thoughts with tests, then I'm actually going to do bad. So I think of good things and I do good.
Right now we're talking about managing our emotions, like counting to 10, and something called finger breathing, which is every time you go over one finger, you breathe in and then out, in and out. And also we can take a deep breath and self-talk, which is like telling yourself it's gonna be okay.
Boys and girls, I encourage you to close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale.
Mindfulness means to me like relaxing and just forgetting anything that's stressful in your life.
I love to imagine I'm in an island, only I'm in there.
You feel like so refreshed afterwards, like you're just like, now that I feel good, I should probably make someone else feel good, you know?
We are their foundation. So if they get this great education on how to right the wrongs, how to make better choices, they're going to just keep going through life, and then there we go, we see the change.
Considering how many new kids we'll meet at Green, I'm going to try to make as many friends as I can and help others make friends. And so I hope that I can continue Peace Builders there at Green.
These components, if we all do these things, and adults should do them too, and it's not always easy, but we definitely would come together. I think probably if we took this to a world level, we'd have no problems.
Over the course of the next 12 to 18 months, we are expanding our one-to-one to include our K through 2 students. As we continue to work at this one-to-one and recognize the value of it, we're seeing our students having more engagement in collaborative tools with our teachers. We're also seeing an intentional shift towards our digital citizenship curriculum that our students and our teachers are using together, learning more about how to be a good student citizen while you're online. What is your digital footprint for a student? Where you go and where the college is and businesses look at that as when you graduate. What are you doing online? Our acceptable use policy, we've even spent time redoing our acceptable use, that it's more relevant, that it's a series of questions and statements for students to understand that where they go and what they do online has consequences, good and bad. With that came the ability also to provide our parents opportunities to learn more. We've provided parent forums in the evening, specifically around cyber safety, really parenting in a cyber world. We stepped out and offered parents the ability to use a tool called Bloxy. Bloxy is a filtering tool that provides internet history for parents on their child during the day and after hours. Not only does it provide internet history to parents, it also is a filtering tool after hours for those parents. So when a child steps off our campus with a Chromebook, they are still being filtered, and the parent can interact with that filtering as well. They can actually see the history of where that child was, or they can even block or unblock sites at home when the child is with them. They could actually, with this tool, shut the device off at a certain time of the day or evening, and they can take a more active role in the one-to-one implementation here at Sycamore.
Sycamore Aviator Flight Plan is a series of activities and experiences for kids that help them to connect school to the real world. Instead of waiting for that freshman year or that sophomore year of college and thinking, oh wow, this is what I want to do, or this is where I want to go in my life, we try to make sure that we're getting a head start on that, so that students actually have a flight path, so to speak. We are the aviators, and that's what our goal is, to help our kids to aim high, reach for the stars, but to give them a clear path to get there. And so we start that at the kindergarten level. Kids experiencing speakers, inspire trips, we call them, trips to area businesses, area farms, community centers, the Crone Conservatory, Symphony, so that kids can get a feel for different types of jobs. At the 5th grade level, we start looking at a site called Ohio Means Jobs. And there are actually 16 career clusters that Ohio identifies. So not only do the students go in and look at the career clusters inventory, they also start asking themselves some questions. What am I good at in school? What am I good at outside of school? And if I'm interested in one of those clusters, what types of things do I need to make sure that I'm concentrating on? Much of what they were doing in the 5th and 6th grade level extends into 7th grade. Then in the 8th grade, we actually use Naviance to do something called a Strengths Explorer. And they start to actually build a plan for high school to help them to determine what it is they really need to hone in on, depending on what type of job they're thinking they might be interested in. At the 9th grade level, we actually have a number of different things that we do with our students that also involves our parents. We do a career interest profiler, we help them build their resume, we help them apply to colleges through Naviance, and then we actually do our recommendation letters and our college acceptance through Naviance. We want our kids to explore. We don't want them to get pigeonholed early. Our intent is that our students are truly looking at the scope, the breadth of everything that we have to offer, and then everything that the world has to offer, but helping them to guide them a little bit so that they go down a path that is really intended for them, for their interests, for their passions, and for what they truly might want to do when they grow up.
As you listen to this, we are closing down a highly successful 2016-17 school year. Our kids are energized, our teachers are energized, and I'm confident as your superintendent that we will close this school year in the very most productive fashions that we can. Best wishes to all the Sycamore family. I completely appreciate all that you do in support of our service to students.